the Tyrant of Baal. And so, we are finally here. The final and hardest mission in the game, mostly because it is where the nids unveil their most powerful units, the Hive Tyrant and its Hive Guards. The Tyrant is not only an excellent hero sniper, but also continues the annoying bombardments from previous missions, and the Hive Guards can basically outgun all your troops. The one armed with shock cannons are especially deadly because on crit they can one-shot a dread. Add in the fact that unlike previous missions, the nid reinforcements include much scarier troops. They can summon Venanthropes, Thornbacks, and even a Warrior Tyrant. So the longer you drag this mission, the deadlier it becomes for you. The Tyranids also bring out the largest number of big body monsters in this mission. So they have this massive wall of deadly and tanky monsters barreling down on you while being supported by some of the most oppressive firepower you have yet to witness this entire campaign. You can get whatever skills you want, it doesn't matter in this mission. What matters is the positioning of your army. My army is the same as last mission, except I switch out Not Quindar for 2 dreads, one with a flamer and one with a melta. I'm pretty sure that I'll lose one of them in a fight, if not both. It's a small force, but on purpose. There is not a lot of cover on this map, and you're facing firepower you have never faced before. A smaller force has a much easier time maneuvering and hiding behind the limited cover that is available. The reason cover is so important in this mission is because it breaks line of sight, which forces the Hive Tyrant and the Hive Guards to approach you instead. So as we begin the mission, I need to deploy my troops carefully. After failing this mission a dozen times, I've realized the left flank carries a lot more risk than the right. The cover is too light, and it gives the nids a clear line of sight of your units, which combined with their superior range and accuracy, always leads to a painful experience. Instead, I will take control of the right flank area. The cover here can break the line of sight of the Hive Guard and the Hive Tyrant, forcing them to come closer to you. And once they do, the Terminators and Assault troops can jump over their big body monsters and assassinate them. You don't have to kill all the nids in this mission, just these 4 targets, which makes it a lot easier to win. In order for me to take control of the right flank, I will need to eliminate this exocrine right here, on the first turn. So to accomplish this, I split my force into 2 squads. One is a small assassination squad with Carleon and the Golden Boys, backed up by a Turo and a Dread in case something goes wrong and they have to fall back. And the other is the main punching force that will move and take control of the right flank.
Winius, and will forever be my brothers. For Balfora, for the Great Angel, for the Emperor.
The opening move works like a charm, as Carleon and the Golden Boys quickly dispatch the exocrine before using their jump packs to quickly tactically relocate to a more defensible position. I also move the main force to the right flank, but hug the edge of the map as much as possible. This is to avoid the massive movement range of the Warrior Tyrant and the Thornback that are present on the right flank. Oh, and there is also a Tyrannofax and a Trigon lurking in the shadows back here. The nids really pull out all the stops for this mission.
Not bow to their attacks! Opening fire!
Luckily, the nids overextended themselves in their turn. And with a whole bunch of buffs from my second priest and Verity, I'm hoping I can dispatch all threats in one turn.
Hatred for the sinner!
My duty remains.
Unfortunately, I ended up having to use a lot more units to take out the Warrior Tyrant. The Dead Company brothers really need to build up their damage stacks before they become really deadly, but right now their damage is only marginally higher than the regular Assault Marines. The Terminators, on the other hand, are doing just fine. So glad I gave them a chance. The Assassination Squad continues their fallback, and I leave the Dreadnought out as bait for the horde of nids and the 2 Tyrannofax that are marching down the middle path. I also surround the Thornback on the right flank to prevent it from moving and attacking Verity. Every time I have lost this mission, it's because Verity gets assassinated. She is the squishiest member of this army, and you should be super careful with her.
They wish to test their strength. We will not break. Is that all? They will know death soon enough. Impedance acknowledged. Impedance acknowledged.
Rest in peace, brave Dread. This was going to happen one way or the other. Better be the extra Dread and not a hero unit or the Sanguinary Guard. I start off my turn by taking a big risk. The Melta is always a risk to fire, as it tends to miss often, and since it's a single shot weapon, a miss means you do 0 damage. But it does almost 3 times the damage of the Dread's melee attack, and I don't want to spend more action points than I need to eliminate the Thornback like I had to do with the Warrior Tyrant.
The Xenos spines are foreknowledge.
It works, allowing the Terminators to finish the Thornback swiftly. Then I feed some fodder to my Death Company squads to fatten up their damage, while I pull the rest of the force away and out of sight of the approaching Hive Guard and Tyrant. I also make sure that my last Dread is the only one standing in the front of my main force, all exposed, in hopes to lure the Tyrannus on top of him. I top off the Dreadnought's health and buff its armor before ending my turn. The Hive Tyrant is exceptional at hunting heroes, and he nails Carleon, bringing him down to less than half HP. Fortunately, the Shock Cannon Hive Guard moved in real close, and even more fortunately, only one of their 3 shots hit the Dread. This is what I mean by blocking line of sight to force them to come to you.
We are just and righteous before the eyes of the Emperor!
I start off my turn with another Melta shot, before healing and buffing as many troops as I can.
The blood is strong! Do not falter!
I am the Imperium's shield.
I go where I am needed. We are just and righteous before the eyes of the Emperor! No machine spirit protects you, cursed abomination.
As I have said before, you need to finish this mission fast. The enemy reinforcements are really powerful and can butcher you in a slow, grindy battle. So like the legends of the lore, Carleon and the Sanguinary Guard dive deep into the maw of the beast. Carleon is instantly set upon by the overwatch fire of the High Guard and survives with a mere 8 HP, but like the champions of the Wh40k saga, wounded and facing certain death, he summons the might of the great angel, and along with his golden brothers, smite the great enemy of mankind.
Victory for the Bloodblades! Victory for Skyfall!
I move him behind the pillar and away from the Hive Guard's line of fire, in hopes to delay his inevitable fall. I know that all hero units get a second life, but it's still a very precarious situation with the Tyrant effects and the Turrigon right next to him, who are going to be followed by a horde of gargoyles, gene stealers, and gaunts, still lurking in the shadows. I kill the Hive Guards in front of him, but run out of action points before I could kill the Tyrant effects. This is too dangerous. I don't have an option now, because of the position I put Carleon in. I can lose this game in the next turn or two, so I follow one epic heroic charge with a second one. The full might and benefit of the Terminator's 10-tile teleport finally comes into play in its pure, unbridled glory, bypassing all the monstrous threats and teleporting into the heart of the enemy territory. With no hopes of backup or retreat, the Terminators charge the last 2 targets, critical for my victory, just like in the lore. But also like in the lore, rarely do these last-ditch efforts go smoothly, as the first charge is denied by the Overwatch fire, leaving only one Terminator squad to be able to engage and deal damage. I await the inevitable.
For the Ninth Legion! I will not die to you! Taking fire!
The Tyrant's turn is terrifying. The Warrior Tyrant nearly solos my Dread. The Tyrant effects melts my death company. An enormous horde of nids have shown up, and the hive guards take chunk off my Terminator's health.
They will not break!
But for some reason, they leave Carleon alone. Maybe his low health means he's not a threat? Yeah, lucky me. The Terminators finish off another Hive Guard squadron and chase down the third. The next turn will be a do-or-die turn. If they fail to finish them off, the Trigon will make mincemeat out of them, and then I will no longer be able to threaten the Hive Guard. My forces will be locked down by the massive number of nids bearing down on me. I carefully tried to free Carleon of his dire situation, in case the Terminators fail in their mission and I have to fight a longer battle. The Death Company squads engage the Gene Stealers and thin out their numbers.
For the Ninth Legion!
I go where I am needed.
I rush both priests to heal Carleon before using him and the Golden Boys to finish off their Turvicon.
No amount of carapace will save this abomination.
Knowing that he has one more life and the main threat to the heroes, that is the Hive Tyrant, is dead, I charge him into the Gene Stealers to further reduce their fighting force. He falls to them in the next turn, and that's the last risk I could take.
I will not die to you!
However, I realize it was a stupid risk, as out of the shadows, another Trigon appears and nearly kills Verity. My dire situation turns really desperate because of an unnecessary move I made. If Sister Verity gets attacked again, the game is over. However, if both of my Terminator squads survive this next turn, I will be able to do enough damage to kill the Hive Guard and achieve victory. That is, if both of them survive. If only one survives, that means I won't have enough damage to finish off the Hive Guard, allowing the Tyrannus to finish off Verity the next turn. So this is it, the moment of truth. The Trigon moves, and, in a weird and lucky turn of events, leaves the Terminators alone. Okay, I guess the AI always prioritizes squishy targets. Anyway, I pimp slapped the last Hive Guards to death and achieved victory. Rather anticlimactic considering how much of a shitstorm I was in, but I'll take it. So here we are, finally at the end of the epic saga of the melee force in action. It feels so much more natural to use Blood Angels to kill nids in glorious melee, rather than blasting them from a mile away with sissy pew-pew rifles. I hope this series inspires you to try your own melee comp in Company Captain difficulty. It is very powerful. As you can see, I finished the last mission in just 4 turns. The hardest mission in the game was also the fastest mission in the game with a melee army. So go out there and give it a shot if you haven't already. So now that this series has come to an end, what's next for me? That's easy. Necrons! April 21st, they announced the date, and I'm so excited to try them out and the new revamped campaign that they're doing. I will be taking a little break though until their release, but don't worry, I will be back. So until then, peace.
If we lose the machine spirit down here...
Go, brother. Tend to his body. Brother Quindar's sacrifice should be venerated and recounted with pride within our chapter.